Hello Australia, welcome to another Big Couch, episode 701. Thank you for your company all around Australia. Hope you're doing well in Victoria as well as we are in the rest of Australia. On the show today, we've got the Bitchin' team talking news topics and more. We're talking about Kalbarri. We're also talking about Have a Go News. And Chris has got a story about Bunnings. Stay tuned for that one. Talking movies with Paul Elwin. We've got the latest 4 new movies. We'll talk about those. Later on, we've got Ian Hale in. He's from Halo Movies. He also runs the Backlot Theatre here in Perth. He's got a brand new documentary called The Last Horns of South Africa. We've got the director and producer coming in for that as well. Big show. We're giving you some pizza, some movie tickets, and a lot of fun. Hope you can stick around. 7:01 starts now.
It's showtime on the couch. It's showtime on the couch. You can see it from your house. You can see it from your house. It's showtime on the couch with Fred and the best in town. You can see it from your house. Yeah, it's showtime on the couch. Oh, oh, oh.
Hello Australia, it is a Big Couch today. We've got no music act because we're full of guests today, but we're full of a lot of things, but guests are exactly what we're getting today. But let's get straight into Bitchin'. We've got some news topics to talk about. And on the end of the couch is the man from tellmewheretogo.com, our travel correspondent, Steve Collins, talking. You're going to be talking about Kalbarri.
Yes,
what's
I am.
happening with that?
Yep, good news.
Welcome. And Jen Merrigan from Have a Go News, you're going to be talking about Have a Go News.
I am, but a particular article that we've done this month, which is an interview with Len Collard.
And here I was
wait.
thinking it was just going to be a shameless plug.
Yeah.
No way. And from 1086AX.
At least it's not a Harvey Norman catalogue like the other major paper.
Oh,
Oh,
we need to
well,
do it
don't forget
again.
to say interest
This
applies
is
if
Chris
you don't
Ilsley, by the
comply
way,
with
from
terms and conditions.
6AX. Welcome.
Welcome.
How's
Thank
it going
you very
at
much.
6AX? Everything going well? You're sounding good?
Yeah, it's going very well. Yes, we're having fun, and I'm sort of learning what it's like to be a DJ.
Do you ever make the mistake, just quickly, do you ever say 882 6PR by mistake?
I've done it once.
Yeah.
Only once, yes.
It must be hard.
And I confess to my sins, and to be honest, Evan said to me, I'm surprised it took you that long.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was all right.
I remember Gary Shannon years ago used to say 92.9 when he moved to 96, but it was just because you've done it for so many years. So, but welcome.
Thank you very much for
What
that.
are you talking about today? Something about Bunnings, I believe.
Yes, but I want to preempt this by saying there is no danger, to the best of my knowledge, to the sausage sizzle. So it's all good.
We are very grateful.
Right.
goodness.
So I'll tell you more about that later. In the meantime, the big guy down here.
Can I
can't
ask you, why is the sausage sizzle, it always tastes better at Bunnings? They're cheap sausages, but they always
You know
taste
why? Because it's done by amateurs.
good. Real
Right?
people.
Somebody who knows how to do a barbecue. And when these people are fundraising, they say, who knows how to do a barbecue? And they pick the person who's best at barbecuing. That's why. So you're getting the best amateur barbecuers. And they're actually as good as professionals. That's my opinion.
Let's
anyway.
do a barbie at your place, Chris Ilsley. Do you like a good sausage sizzle?
I do, and I have a story about a barbecue, just briefly.
Oh, yeah?
I set our former barbecue on fire.
Yeah.
The fire was raging to such an extent that I had reached the point of serious consideration of just chucking the whole lot in the pool. I decided that a dirty great shovel of sand would do the job better, which it did. We then went to Bunnings,
Yes?
and we went to the first Bunnings store, and they said, oh no, because we looked up a barbecue, and I said, well, like that barbecue. Oh no, we don't have one of those. They got on the phone, and they said, oh, they've got one down at Balcatta, because we were up at Edgewater at the time, so we went to Balcatta. I don't know why they told you we had one here. We don't have one here. Oh, they've got one over at Whitford's. So we go over to Whitford's.
Yeah.
Don't know why either of those two told you we don't have one here.
So are the days of our lives.
And I said, this is unbelievable. This is the third store we've been to.
I believe they had one in Rockhampton, though.
Hang on a second. The other story's great. So and I just said, this is just BS. Sorry, guys. And he points to this wonderful U-Butte whiz-bang barbecue. He said, what if I give you that
For the same price.
for the same price? And I looked at Bernadette and said,
Start the car.
yeah. Well, actually, what I said was, let's pay him before he changes his mind.
What a great idea.
So I really appreciate the fact that Bunnings completely stuffed up the style of barbecue they had
There
at
you
no
go.
less than 3 stores.
Sometimes you do get stories like that. That's a wonderful story because you
Yeah,
did
the
well out of
barbecue
it.
lives today, and I haven't burnt that one.
Now, what are we talking about Bunnings? Continuing on that story. I know you've got a
Well,
couple of minutes.
apparently there's a timber shortage, and it being Bunnings, has had to issue a warning to people not to abuse staff when they go looking for things
I
like
saw
timber.
that on 9 News.
Personally, I think this is a good idea. Do you know why? Because as long as there's none of this timber available, it's going to stop people who said, "Oh, I've seen an episode of Better Homes and Gardens. I'm now going to go and renovate my house."
Well, I can
Renovating my
truly
house.
say, with my hand to my heart, that I have never ever abused a Bunnings staffer because it's too bloody hard to find and to abuse, isn't it?
I was going to say the same thing.
Where are they?
I know. We after our Bunnings burnt down, our local Bunnings burnt down.
In Inglewood?
Yes.
Now
it
there's
was-
a Woolworths there.
Yeah, but that was a great Bunnings. The staff
know.
were really good.
It was the
You-
old-fashioned type.
Yes, and now you go to the warehouse in wherever,
They're
and
all
it's
the big
awful.
warehouses, yeah, I
know.
agree.
I know what you're talking about. They go, "Oh,
So this is all
yeah,
about builders,
bloody
aren't they?
hell."
There's a lot of building going on.
But
in
also
Australia.
other people, because what happens during COVID, people have decided, I've seen an episode of Better Homes and Gardens. I'm going to renovate
I'm
my
gonna go
home.
renovate the
And
whole
man,
house.
I've seen some amazing renovation stories. I remember somebody telling me, I saw, it was when the late Shirley Strawn was still alive, I saw Shirley doing this, and if he could do it, then I figured I could
Anyone
do
can
it.
do
And I
it.
said,
Trying to be
yeah, there's
Tommy
only
the
one
singer,
trouble.
he was a carpenter.
Before he joined Skyhooks, yes.
But you know what,
But nobody
You know-
bothered to tell him.
I agree,
There's a
but
lot of supply issues with a lot of materials
Correct.
just since
as you know,
COVID.
I'm building a house
Yeah.
hopefully
Well, I
in
wonder how
Bradford.
much of this is also stemming from the fact that we're having a stoush with China.
Well,
Yeah, that could be,
yeah,
but I know
could
that
be.
there's I'm making my roof in my new house metal. They're using steel. I'm more than happy with that because there's plenty of steel going on. So if you get the option, folks, just go for steel roofs,
Yep.
and that will take away a lot of the wood issues. What else was there in that story? Anything else you want to talk about? Shall we move on to Jen?
Oh, let's move on to Jen's story. Meantime, if you're looking for wood or anything like that in Bunnings, A, you might have trouble finding it, and B, please don't abuse the staff.
Correct. And don't go cutting down the trees in the community.
Oh yeah, and just
But
because
do buy your sausage.
do buy a
Sizzle.
sausage sizzle, and just because you've seen an episode of Better Homes and Gardens does not mean you are going to ace it at the DIY revolution. Just trust
Nothing
me on that one.
happens in 3 minutes like
Jen,
it does
you've got
on
a
those shows.
fantastic story coming up in the
We have
edition
got a
of Have a Go.
fantastic
Hang on,
story
you've got to do
coming.
the shameless plug. It's Have a Go News.
Have a Go
Come on, no,
News.
hold it up.
There it
we
is,
go.
hold it up.
Have a Go News.
There
we
you
go.
go.
.com.au,
Beautiful.
you can read it online as well. So, all this year, we've been doing some fantastic stories on our Aboriginal elders. And this month, we've had a chat to Len Collard,
Yeah.
who works for the University of WA's School of Indigenous Studies, and of course is a Noongar elder himself, and is fluent in Noongar language, which is the language of the Southwest Noongar Nation, which is a very big area with Noongar people. Now, Len is telling us that we've had lots of reports about saying that Noongar language is barely spoken, and he believes that it's because of the Australian Bureau of Statistics, that they don't actually ask the right questions, and Noongar language is spoken a lot, and we actually are speaking it every day in lots of the names of
some of our suburbs have got Aboriginal names.
Pinjarra is a Noongar word. Yelling
Mirrabooka.
up is a Noongar
Yeah.
word.
Aren't most of the ups
A lot of the suburbs.
Noongar
Yeah,
words?
most of the
Sonars
ups,
and-
place of
and
water.
yeah.
So we,
Upper Swan. Oh, that's not a
yeah,
Noongar
no.
word, is it?
Yeah, you've
But
got
what we want to do,
Mirrabooka, you've
and
got
what we've
lots of areas.
Might be a
started,
state of the nation.
is we want
Okay.
to incorporate more for all of us to use Noongar words
get to know it
and
too.
get to know it in everyday life.
Do you know
so,
you can actually do the Noongar? I heard it on the night shift on 6PR. Todd was talking to a lecturer at UWA, I think it is. They're running courses there, very
Yes.
short. I think it's about 3-week course, and you get to learn how to speak Noongar.
Exactly. Gina Williams, she
Oh,
does her
fabulous singer.
performances, the
Brilliant.
most magnificent singer, does her performances in English and Noongar.
Yep.
And so
think it's
what
wonderful.
we've started is in our page 2 snippet section, we're putting in Noongar words every month.
Yep.
And so you can get to know Noongar words and start using them in everyday
How
language.
great would it be, Jen, if schools started teaching kids as part of history?
Well, how great
a
would
little
it
bit of
be if they do like they do in Wales and other parts, where you have the English
New
name
Zealand?
and then New
The
Zealand,
Noongar name.
and then in brackets you have the Noongar name
I think
for
it'd
that
be wonderful.
place.
Well,
Wouldn't that be fabulous?
I think we are on a turning point of really becoming far more inclusive with our Aboriginal
It could help
people,
with reconciliation
our
as
First
well.
people.
Why do we
It's
call it the
just
Swan River when it should be the Derbil Yerrigan?
Exactly.
agree.
And if we, the people, start incorporating this into everyday life and utilising the words, we can change what the government does.
Great idea. Have a Go News. What edition is it?
This is our June edition. We've got some fantastic reading
Where
in there.
can we get it from?
Oh, you can get online,
You really
of course.
don't know much.
Haveagonews.com.au.
This is how you do a shameless plug.
Have a
Right,
go news.
Have a go news.
Haveagonews.com.au. Go to our Facebook page and you can
Shamelessly
read it
Can you
online
get a hard
there.
copy anywhere?
But the hard copies, yes, at most of your major shopping centres, supermarkets, all the way down to Augusta, to Albany,
Fantastic.
all through the Avon Valley, up to Jurien Bay.
Thank
and
you. We'll look
there's
out for it.
1,800 outlets in Western Australia.
Beautiful. And it's been around a long time. Many
30th
years.
anniversary
Well
next
done.
month.
Congratulations as
Thank
well.
you.
You look far too
I haven't
young. It
got
must
me
have been your
invited to the
parents
party
and
yet.
stuff.
Steve,
Yes.
over to you. You've got, how many minutes have we got, Sonia? We've got 4 minutes. 3 minutes. There you go, for Steve.
Good news.
Yep.
Cyclone Saroja a few months ago swept through, almost demolished Kalbarri and did a lot of damage to Northampton and other parts up in our mid-north coast. Well, I just got the news this week that Kalbarri is now open to tourists. Now, it's not open as it was before. There are a lot of places that are still being fixed up, but there are some accommodation places.
Perfect time
Most
of
of
year
the
to go to.
most of the caravan parks, etc. There you've got a story as well
Yeah,
in
Kalbarri Beach
in
Resort.
Have a Go News as well. But it's really good news because a lot of the places that up there are open.
They've done it very quickly.
They've done
with
it
a lot
very
of
well.
work too.
They had a lot of problems because there was absolutely no power. All the power lines were knocked down, and there was so much damage to the roads and stuff.
And
that it
asbestos issues.
And asbestos issues has
Yeah.
taken them a long time just to get to this stage. They, of course, still rebuilding the town, but there's a lot up there. I love Kalbarri. I've stayed
Beautiful.
up there several times. It's
People need
just
to go up and
magnificent.
support it. as
Yes.
well.
Well, we
Please
do.
go up. Please
The,
go up.
the good news is the national park is now open. Now they have these two wonderful, they're brand new, which really only opened a short time before the cyclone. They're glass platforms that you're standing right, the skywalks, you're standing right over the gorges there.
Amazing.
How cool is
Absolutely fantastic. A great place for families. We took our kids up there when they were young. Very safe swimming for families. There's good surfing there.
Good
There's
hotels,
good fishing
good
there.
restaurants,
Good
good-
hotels.
good-
And if you've
I
never
don't-
been there, when
Yeah.
you go swimming, the first thing you notice is how warm the
The
water
warm,
feels.
the warm, and it's
Kalbarri.
got nothing to do with people urinating in it, Chris.
And you've got to drive there,
It's
don't you, Steve?
yeah.
You can't fly in for those people over.
No,
Yeah,
but
no,
you
you-
can
no, you've
get,
got to-
you
you've
can,
got to drive.
You can bus up too.
How far is it? How many hours? I know we're
It's
running out of time.
it's
About
about
160 k's from Geraldton.
Yeah,
what
it's
would
about
that
an hour and a
be?
half from
An hour-
Geraldton, so
an hour and a
that
half
makes
from
it around about a
Geraldton.
6 hour
7 hours,
drive
6, 7
if you
hours.
don't stop. Yeah.
about five
Fantastic.
and a half.
Now,
Yeah.
Steve, we're going to be talking about that on 6PR, I think, next week.
Yeah, we're going to talk
so
more about
please
it next
listen
week,
to
yeah.
us next Sunday morning. We'll talk about that. And
Yeah.
also, we're going to be doing that on the couch soon as well, which is great. Have a Go News. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Jen. Chris Ilsley, when are you on 6IX? When can we hear you?
Sunday nights from 6 and Saturday nights for Jukebox Saturday night.
Wonderful. Nice listening to you on 6X. And Steve, what's the website for Tell Me Where to Go?
Tell me where to go.com and the 2 is the
I
numeral
thought
2.
people have been telling you that for a long time.
They have.
Well, I've been telling people that a long time, but now I'm doing it
Thank you to the
seriously.
team. Thanks for being with us. We'll look forward to seeing you all in a couple of weeks' time. And Steve will be back next week talking property, I think, next week. That is the Couch Bitchin' segment for this week. Thanks for your company. We'll be back with more of the Couch, talking movies with Paul Elwin right after this. Welcome back to the Couch on Foxtel on a Sunday night. I hope you're having a good night. Now we're going to continue with some entertainment news in the way of movies with Paul Elwin. Welcome back.
Thanks, Fred. Yes, we've got a whole bunch of more movies
We've got
coming in
4
now. It's
brand
great.
new movies to look at.
And these are all a mixed bag, very different
Some
kind of
scary
movies
ones. That
altogether.
French one there, I see.
Yes.
Tell me about The Conjuring. The
Well,
devil.
we've got the
made me
Conjuring
do it.
universe. That was from part of the duo that made Saw. So James Wan, back in
Yes.
2013, he came up with the Conjuring, and it's based on the lives of Ed and Lorraine Warren, real life, actual. Not exorcists, but the sort of ghost hunting type
That's right.
people. And they were kind of big news with things such as the Amityville Horror as well.
Yes.
So this is the 3rd in the series. We've got Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga in this. And this one is different to the previous 2 Conjuring. So this one's The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It.
Oh, wow.
That line, The Devil Made Me Do It, is actually based on what this story is behind. It's based on the 81 murder committed by Arne Cheyenne Johnson, who killed his landlord.
Oh.
after the murder, he was claiming that he was possessed by a demon. And so this one, it's not like a haunted house one in the previous Conjurings where they're in a house and it's all scary in the house. This one, they're actually investigating a murder. And is this guy actually possessed by a demon or not?
You taking the kids to watch this one?
Oh, no, not really.
I can just imagine you at the cinema
The
saying...
Conjuring universe, there's one called Annabelle,
Yeah.
which is a possessed doll.
The
And
doll.
I'm sure a lot of parents have gone,
I can just
that's a-
picture you taking your kids and
Oh
going,
my
kids,
gosh,
if you
then-
thought that was scary, mum's even scarier.
In a few years, when the kids are sort of going, I think I can handle it, I'll be like, yeah,
Sometimes
sure.
kids watch stuff like that and they're not even scared. I find some of
They
these
handle it
movies...
well, yeah.
Yeah, the trailers are more scary than the movie. But The
So
Conjuring,
Conjuring 3, that's out now. Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It.
Bye Bye Moron.
Bye Bye Morons. Also, this is a French movie,
Yeah.
a French comedy
Morons.
drama, also known as Adieu les cons. It's pretty
Say it
interesting. Adieu les cons.
You do a French accent.
I don't even think that it translates to Bye Bye Morons.
Yeah, that's what I
think they
thought.
just thought like maybe that's a good title, just Bye Bye Morons. So this is a comedy drama, a French movie.
Yeah.
It was originally put together last year. But obviously due to some delays, but this is out now. I'm not too familiar with the current, French actors and actresses in this, but these guys seem to do a really cool job. What it is a seriously ill woman decides to have a sort of new take on her life and go, okay, fine, I abandoned my child when I was younger. I'm going to find this child and see if I can make amends, that sort of thing. In the process, she's in this office. This 50-year-old clerk is going through a crisis and is about to commit suicide. Just watch it.
The whole ceiling fell on
But
him.
he just wrecks the place, and then so that they escape, they're getting out of there, and then they also bump into a blind man called Mr. Blin.
As you would.
And he's
Mr.
an
Blin.
archivist, and he's got like a crazy memory type thing for everything. So all three of them have decided to help her on her journey to try and find her kid. So this is a kind of weird sort of comedy road movie. But the director attributes this to sort of Monty Python type comedy, but it looks really clever and pretty funny.
A good one?
Yeah, pretty interesting actually.
Looks
So
fantastic.
Bye Bye Morons. That's out
Dream...
now.
Is it Dream Horse?
Dream Horse.
Yeah.
Originally
That's a Sony one, I think.
It was originally based on a book called Dark Horse, but obviously with this they didn't want to call it Dark Horse because it's actually a positive type of thing.
Yes.
But also this is the true story. This is out on the 10th of June. The true story. Tony Collette plays Welsh bartender
love
Jan
Toni
Vokes.
Collette.
And this is the true story. Basically, Jan Vokes, she decides just sort of out of the blue, I want to change in my life. She lives in a close-knit community in Wales, in this town, and she goes horse racing. And between her friends and neighbours and everyone, they all invest towards a
all get into
racehorse.
it. Yeah.
This isn't your usual racehorse investing kind of crowd. These are just regular townsfolk
Yeah.
coming up with an idea, backing this horse. They're not certain of how well it is. Essentially, Toni Collette is amazing.
Why
in
does
this.
she
does a
always
Welsh
look
accent.
miserable?
It's
Maybe she's Welsh.
it's actually quite actually quite a heartwarming tale because they do quite well. They succeed amongst all of these other sort of your pompous kind of lords and high-end
These are just
executives that
normal,
invest
everyday
into horse
people.
racing, but these are just regular people.
Yep.
And what it is, the horse that wins the Welsh Grand National, the story of this, the horse is called Dream Alliance because for them this was their dream. And Alliance because, as she said, we're all stuck in this together now.
I love Toni Collette.
She's amazing in this, and she practiced the Welsh accent. She observed the actual real-life Jan Vokes, and there's an interview, and Jan Vokes goes, she thought it was really funny because she goes, do I sound like that? Do I act like that? And Toni Collette had it down pat.
Beautiful.
Looks amazing. So, that's
Fantastic.
Dream Horse.
The
out
Dream
10th June.
Horse. It's coming out. Well, it's out when?
10th of June.
Oh,
yeah.
so only next week.
Yes,
All
yeah.
right. Fast and the Furious is another one.
Yeah, the last
Number
one I've
8.
got for you here is Fast and Furious 9.
9,
This
because I
is
just
it.
saw
This is a big
7.
one.
7 was on the other night on TV.
Yeah, and what this is the 9th one in the whole series because you have to include Tokyo Drift for some reason. This is out on the 17th of June. A lot of stars which were in Fast and Furious 7 are actually back in this one. So
That's
from a short hiatus. The weird thing is, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson fans, he's not in this.
Really?
But there was a rivalry between Dwayne Johnson
Yeah.
and Tyrese Gibson,
Yep.
who was in Fast 7, essentially saying, I'm not going to work on a Fast movie if Dwayne Johnson's in this. So guess what? Dwayne Johnson's not in this because they had the previous Fast Furious movie.
Who's
And-
the lead actor in this? What's his
We've
name?
got Vin Diesel. He's
That's who I was
he's
thinking.
in all of them. Vin Diesel's Dom.
There he
But
is.
yeah, because Dwayne Johnson's not in this. Therese Gibson's in this, but we also have Sung King as Han, the bad guy. Jordana Brewster is back in this one. Yeah, so The Rock isn't in this one, but you've got also your usual suspects from the previous ones. Charlize Theron plays the evil Cypher in this one. John Cena is back as Jacob. Helen Mirren's in this. Kurt Russell's in this.
Kurt Russell.
Yeah, and of course Ludacris is in this, because you can't have a Fast and Furious movie without Ludacris. But yeah, they're all back, and yeah, this is huge. So this is a big movie that's out. This one is out on the 17th of June, so
Fantastic.
Fast and Furious 9.
They're your top 4 movies for this week. Let's have a look at the top 5.
Top 5 currently, yes.
That are being watched at the moment. And let's start at number 5. Paul?
So we've got number 5 is June again.
Number 4,
Spiral, which we mentioned before from the Book of Saw. That's doing well. Those Who Wish Me Dead is the Angelina Jolie movie currently out. Wrath of Man with Jason Statham, bit of action in there, and doing really well. Amazing movie, A Quiet Place Part 2.
Fantastic.
Everyone in the cinema's loving it.
Sonia, have we got much time left? I think we've got a couple of minutes. All right. Tell me what you've been watching on streaming.
Oh, on streaming.
Anything new that's come up that you've watched this week? Or
not so much new.
Something you promoted?
I was a bit miffed Jupiter's Legacy got cancelled, but...
Really?
So, yeah, but for me, currently on Netflix, I'm enjoying Love, Death and Robots, which is quirky animation, because I'm a big fan of sort of the 90s quirky animation, like Liquid Television, that sort of thing. And these are all sci-fi tales, and every episode is differently animated. It's a lot of fun for sci-fi fans.
Well, let's give away some movie tickets. If you want to go and watch any of these wonderful movies coming up at Palace Cinema, you can watch them anywhere around Australia. They are just amazing. What you see on the screen is what you get. They are amazing. I love Palace Cinema. Some of our crew are going to go and enjoy some of the beautiful things at the cinema. If you would like to win a couple of tickets, we're giving you 2 of the Gold Lounge, which we call Platinum, and 2 of the standard tickets, which are not standard, let me tell you. All you have to do is SMS us to 0439 929 929. The code word, Paul, what is it always?
Oh, Palace, I believe.
Palace,
yes.
There you go. PALACE, name and address on that SMS. Please enter. These tickets are worth about $80 for the normal and about $100 for the Gold Lounge, or vice versa. They're good tickets. We thank you to Palace Cinema, palacecinema.com.au for more details. Please support them. Paul, we'll see you in a couple of weeks talking streaming again.
Yes, indeed, yes.
Look forward to it. That's Paul Elwyn talking movies, back with more of The Couch. If you like what you just saw, we've got more of it coming up after the break. See you then. Welcome back to The Couch. It's time for us to talk health with our very own Dr. Jenny Brockers. Welcome back, Jenny.
Thanks so much. Glad to be with you, Fred.
Now, something that you and I have got in common, we were saying in the break, you've had your jab, as we call it.
I have. I've had my first jab. I've got my second one coming.
AstraZeneca?
Yes, I went the AZ route because I'm over that 50-year-old strategy.
You just scraped in, did you?
I just scraped in, yes.
I'm surprised you didn't get Pfizer at your age. Was it hard? Is it hard for a GP or a medical practitioner to turn... Did you do it through your doctor?
No, I went to one of the mass vaccination clinics because a friend just rang me up and said, Jenny, did you know that there's this clinic just down the road from you? And I said, no, didn't know why I didn't know, but I didn't know. Went down there and there was nobody else around, so I went in, got jabbed, went home, and that was it.
No side effects?
I was warned,
Yep.
and I must say my arm was a bit sore the next day.
Because what are they saying the side effects are? The pain in the arm?
Pain in the arm, you get a bit of sort of tenderness, local redness and that sort of stuff. It was more feeling that I was going down with something the following day. I felt a bit under par. I wasn't sick, I just felt a little bit lethargic, not quite my usual self. 24 hours later, I was back to normal.
So that's the normal side effects.
Yes.
I was listening to people on radio on 6PR ringing in saying the wife had the injection and she wasn't well the next day, but the doctor actually said to them, that's normal. Don't panic.
Yeah.
If the condition gets a lot worse, like you get a fever and you get incredibly ill, you just call an ambulance or you go to your doctor.
Exactly. And that's what you do with any vaccination, whether it's the flu vax or the COVID vax or whichever one you're having.
From a GP's point of view, because you are a doctor, a medical doctor, how would you have liked to have seen the rollout? Now, and what I'm talking about, I know GPs are doing the injections and nurses are too.
Yeah.
My idea was that I think we should have gone to the big chemists, like Chemist Warehouse, for example. The government could have lent them the freezers and maybe they could have also helped the GPs. giving out the injection?
I think there are probably lots of different ways that we could have done the rollout, and I think when you're under pressure where you've suddenly got to get the program out, you just do what you think is going to work.
Correct.
And then with the benefit of hindsight, you can think, oh, maybe it would have been good to maybe have done something like that, because I think one of the issues has been getting the vaccine to where it's needed, and because the Pfizer vaccine needs these super cold refrigerated containers, it's made the logistics of it that much more tricky. But we're getting there. We're getting sorted.
And I always say to people, if you're worried, talk to your doctor.
Absolutely.
Talk to your doctor. Don't talk to gossip. Don't read the news. Don't watch the TV news. Not for the Pfizer. Not in to do with the vaccination. Speak to the most important person, and that's the doctor, because it's not compulsory.
No.
But you might find it could help you in the future. Now, we're going to talk about a few things that we should be doing before we have the jab.
Yes.
Now, people have said to me, don't call it the jab. It doesn't sound, but that's what they're calling it. So we know
That's
the jab.
what seems to be the sort of common term for it at the moment.
You've got 3 things we should do. So let's go through each one. Get the flu jab 2 weeks before or after. What's that one?
Well, it's basically there needs to be a 2-week window or 14 days window between vaccinations, so that if you get a reaction to the flu vaccine, you're well and truly over that before you then go and get your COVID jab. That's
and
the
aren't
main
they
reason.
saying it's safe to do both now? I heard the other night they were saying that those people that have had the flu jab are saying, oh, no, I'm not going to have the vaccine because I want to give it a few months. They don't have to wait that long. 2 weeks is enough.
14 days is long enough in between. That's all they're saying.
Okay,
Yep.
so that's your first tip. Get your flu jab as you do every year. Wait a couple of weeks. If you're feeling good, do they have to go back to their doctor or just basically book in to have it done?
Just book in to get it done. That's the main thing.
Number 2, get a good night's sleep.
Yes.
How can that help us?
How can that help you? You may well ask. It's been shown that if you're sleep deprived, that your immune system isn't as robust as if you have had a good night's sleep. So getting a good night's sleep, certainly in the lead up towards getting the jab or the vaccination, is been shown to actually optimise the production of antibodies, which is what it's all about. So you're going to have a good response to the vaccination.
So very important, get a good night's sleep, relax, go to bed early, just before you go in the next day to have the jab, and you might
That's
actually
right.
get through it and
That's right.
feel a little bit more refreshed after it as well.
Yeah, that's right.
The third one you've got is stop stress. Now, we were talking about this. I don't particularly think media should be reporting every single side effect that people have. And I think that causes a lot of stress out there. 'Cause
Absolutely.
people over the age of 70 are worried that they're going to get sick, even though it's 2 in 2 million that are getting sick.
2 in 2 million.
Yep.
And we actually know that 50 people a day in Australia develop blood clots due to other reasons.
Other issues, yeah.
So your risk of getting a clot from the vaccination is extremely low, and you've got a much higher risk if you're 70 or older of actually having a worse reaction if you're unlucky enough to actually contract COVID itself. And what really worries me is the fact that people who do contract COVID, 1 in 3 of them go on to develop what's called long COVID.
Yes.
Now, that's the one that worries me, because most people, if they get COVID, will be unwell maybe for about 2 weeks and then they get better. But 1 in 3 people, the symptoms go on, or they start developing new symptoms, and it's often they're very lethargic. They've just got no energy to do anything, trying to exert themselves or do any exercise. It just doesn't work. They've got brain fog. Some people get depressed. There are a multitude of different symptoms that some people get, including sort of loss of smell and loss of taste, which is okay if it's just initial for a few days, but if it's going on week in, week after, and then month into month, it's devastating. And some people, these are young people I'm talking about, people who are working in the front line as nurses, all of a sudden are no longer able to do their work because they're struggling with the symptoms. And of course, nobody knows how long it's going to take for people to overcome this.
Tell me something just quickly as a doctor, blood clots. So if I was to do I'm due to have my second injection because of my diabetes and that, and so I have my injection, say I get blood clots. How would I know I've got blood clots? That's the other question. And is it just a case of going to your doctor and they inject you with warfarin, which is a blood thinner? What are the treatments?
Well, it depends where the clot is,
Yep.
but a lot of people seem to get clots in their heads. So if you develop symptoms where you've got a fever that's rising all the time,
Yep.
and but in particular if you're getting a headache,
Yep.
which is more than your regular headache and it's getting steadily worse, that's an indication that you need to get checked out. So I would either go back to your doctor or front up to a local ED and just get it checked out, because chances are it isn't,
Yep.
but it's better to play safe.
Fantastic, Dr. Jenny. We have got your book here, Thriving Mind. Tell us what's in the book. How can it help people?
There's lots of words in the book, Fred, but it's all about how to develop your own thriving
It
mind.
says discover the essential ingredients for a happier, healthier life. See
exactly,
me?
that's
I'm
you.
a living example. I've read the book twice.
Yeah.
Wonderful book. This is your new book,
This
isn't
is
it?
my latest book.
Where can we get the books from? On your website, of course. What is it?
On the website, you can get it online through your local online
Bookstores.
retailers, and of course, real bookstores actually sell it too.
Dr. Jenny, drjennybrockis.com.au, or is it just .com?
Just the .com.
And you can
will do.
also go to Facebook as well. You've got
Yeah.
a page there. Now, if you would like to win the book, we've got time. Let's give the book away. We've got 3 of them that Dr. Jenny has kindly given to us.
Yep.
All you have to do is send an SMS with your name and address on it, 0439 929 929, name and address, and put the word book so I know that you're entering for the book. The books are available. It's a great read. It will make your life a lot happier and healthier, hopefully, and why not try? Thank you, Dr. Jenny. Look forward to
My
having you back
pleasure.
in about a month's time. We'll talk
I
some more.
look forward to it. Thanks so much, Fred.
There's a great charity called Broken Crayons, and Rach Match is her name. She's going to be talking to Nisha. Check this promo out.
This has been the best experience of my life. Whoever gets the opportunity to do this is definitely the luckiest person alive.
Get on this adventurous week. It's been an amazing, fantastic week. I rate it up there with the best things I've ever done.
I feel full of gratitude, I feel full of joy, I feel full of fun and adrenaline. How often does one person get to do all these things in 1 week? This week actually has got me feeling like I am the most blessed person in the whole country.
You've got to do it now, because tomorrow may be too late. Get out there and enjoy this world. It is a magnificent place.
Now, that is coming up very soon. We're going to talk about that with Nisha and her guest today. That's Charity TV and Adventure All-Stars Travel Show. But first, we're going to talk to Nisha with her special guest. Rach, over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Fred. So, Rach, welcome back to the couch, because this is not the first time you've been here.
No, thanks for having me back.
Rach, it's always a true pleasure to have individuals coming on board who are doing great work in the community.
Thank you.
You're the head of your charity. Tell us a bit about your charity.
Yes, I am. So my foundation is called Broken Crayons Still Colour Foundation, where we assist women, men and children escaping domestic violence. Once we've got them out of harm's way, we provide the essential support such as furniture, white goods, bedding, food, toiletries, school essentials. We assist them with court, counselling. We take broken victims and turn them into empowered survivors.
And hence the name, I love it, Broken Crayons Still Colour, because it's very true. Just briefly, I know because we haven't got as much time as we would like, tell us a bit about your story and why you're so passionate about helping.
So the unique thing about my foundation is myself, my other 2 board directors and my leadership teams were all survivors of domestic violence. Mine has been particularly horrific. You'll notice the husky voice, that's one of the after effects, a lifetime injury. My abuser was convicted and found guilty on every single charge, but what I found, there was not a lot of support for me, and that's what I really needed, practical, essential support. So that's when I decided to use my story to create that essential support.
It's very courageous and very heartening, and the whole process that you just mentioned to us, how hard is it for people to realise what a psychological and physical toll it takes on someone?
Well, the issue is it's not just the physical scars and broken bones and, I've got it all. It's the mental, because you carry those. That becomes your normality. Your journey through domestic violence is your normality. It's not normal at all. and asking for help is very, very tough, very tough. And then finding where that help is. We have to jump through so many hoops when we're already overwhelmed and traumatised, and it's just not right. So we make it so much easier. You don't have to jump through hoops with us.
Yeah, certainly having the experience yourself is amazing to be able to put those services together.
Well, that's right. Rather than drown in my story, I created something truly amazing. I could have easily drowned because it's difficult. I still have the after effects of it, but you know, I am proof that Broken Crown's still colour.
You are, absolutely. And now, as well as what we're talking about today, which is Adventure All Stars, this award-winning TV series that's going around the world that you're a part of, you do so many other things as a charity, don't you? You raised a lot of money for a car recently.
So we needed a new emergency relocation vehicle. Our trusty little Jeep finally died. So we raised funds for 6 weeks flat out and were able to purchase a brand new dual cab ute, and I feel like a bit of a dude driving in it, but hey, it's got my magnets on it, it's fine. But yeah, we did things like sleep homeless for the night to highlight homelessness due to domestic violence, raise funds, numerous events, high teas and raffles, but we did it, and we had a lot of our community get behind us. I did win Westfield Local Hero, so I used part of the funds. Thank you, local hero.
You are.
To put towards that vehicle as well.
Well, I can feel the energy, and I'm sure the audience can as well. Tell us the energy you're going to be putting into the show, because this is yet another opportunity for you to raise funds.
It is. So it's not just an opportunity to raise funds, but give us the exposure we deserve. So myself and my 12 teammates that have joined me, we are going to be raising funds for 10 months. We've got to raise $10,000 each.
Wow, okay.
I know. And here I was thinking it was going to be easy. It's not easy.
Well, we're
so
here
feel free to
you.
jump on. And then at the end of that, we will feature on Adventure All Stars TV series, where we will get that exposure and get to do some really exciting things.
So we saw the clip. What are you looking forward to most?
All of that, except small spaces.
Okay.
So I might have to do some practice in a sleeping bag, something. I don't really know, but I'm a bit worried about that.
Okay, wonderful. What's the outcome? So if you successfully complete the show, what does the money go towards?
Well, we've decided the government are letting us down. I have no dramas saying that. We need to raise our own funds. So if the government aren't going to provide us with resources to build transitional houses, we're going to do it ourselves. So we're going to build our very own, and we're hoping the Perth community get behind us for that.
Do you have a rough estimate, sorry to put it in a spot, how much does it cost to build a transitional home?
Oh my God, you know what? It's not just the build, it's the purchase of the land, the build, the management of it, the security. Yeah. So we're hoping to raise well over $1 million to get this done.
Okay. Yeah, look, well, we're right behind you here on the couch.
Thank you.
I think it's so important, the work that you're doing and the support that you're providing. And we certainly, hopefully some government officials are watching the show.
Get behind us, guys. Come on.
There's certainly a good opportunity to raise even more awareness. So please come on the show again. I'm sure Fred would love to have you and the team.
I'd love to be back. I feel at home here.
Beautiful. So where do we find out more? If you look down maybe camera 1 there and let us know.
Okay, so to follow Broken Crowns, please go to www.brokencrownstillcolour.org.
Thank you so much for joining us again. And
thank you.
We'll see you very, very soon.
Excellent.
And good luck on the show.
We're going to need it.
It'll be fine. Of course, if you've missed any of that, you can go to thecouch.com.au or our Facebook page. But for now, it's back to you, Fred.
Thank you, Nisha. Always wonderful to have Rach Mack on the show. Broken Crayons Still Colour. Please support them. You can send them donations. Get in touch with them because they can always use your help. We're going to take a break. Back with more of The Couch right after this.
Connect with The Couch online through Facebook, Instagram and YouTube.
Welcome back to The Couch. It's always a pleasure to introduce people in the community that do amazing things to help other people. One of those people is a good friend of mine, and she's here on the set today. Her name is Joanne Colelli. Thank you for being on The Couch today, Joanne.
Thank you. Thank you so much for asking me.
I describe you as an artist, but
yes,
you know who you are and what you do. Tell me a little bit about Joanne.
Okay. Well, for 20 odd years, I worked for Google and Yellow Pages in the corporate world. And one day I decided in my 40s to throw it all away and go and get a teaching degree. like
Wow.
you do. So I'm halfway through, and then I thought to myself, how can I be the best teacher that I can be?
Yep.
So I enlisted the help of some amazing Australian artists to be mentored with. And then I was actually asked to do an event, and they said, hey, Joe, do you reckon you could come to Rottnest and paint something for Telethon? And I said, okay,
Why
no
not?
worries. When is it? In 5 days. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I thought I wanted this to be entertaining. So I actually painted a mermaid with using my hands live, and it raised $50,000.
So had you had any training as a painter?
20
An
years
artist?
prior, yes. I was a graphic designer and I'd studied as a fine
So you
artist.
had the creativity.
It was there, and I did it on the silent, but I was in a corporate world, so it's sort of stuff I did privately, but it was my passion though. But it raised $50,000. So after that, I got asked, hey, do you reckon you could paint Nat 5? And I said, sure. When do you need it? 1 week. So
There you
pulled
go.
that one off. And then I got asked, hey, Joe, do you reckon you could paint Heath Ledger? The event's this Saturday. 1 week. And I said, well, I'm getting married the next day. And they said, oh, so you can't do it then? I said, I didn't say no.
Can you do it as you sleep?
So it was at Optus Stadium live with Thirsty Merc, painted Heath Ledger, went on my honeymoon, and I got a phone call, hey, Joe, do you reckon you could paint Nick Nat Nui? Are you back yet? I'm back tomorrow. When's it due? 1 week. So I did a larger than life size Nick Nat Nui.
Yep.
I then did Daniel Ricciardo. During COVID, I did Alf Stewart from Home and Away. I did Constance Hall.
So you've done a lot of famous, well-known people, but you've also done insignificant, unknown people like the Prime Minister. You haven't even mentioned Scott Morrison. Or should we say ScoMo?
ScoMo. He actually asked me, he goes, do you reckon I should sign it ScoMo or Scott Morrison? I said,
ScoMo.
You do ScoMo. But I actually also did Mark McGowan, and I enlisted the help of a fashion designer. I said, hey, do you reckon you might be able to create a McGowan for me?
Yes.
So use my artwork and put it on a gown.
What a clever
and have
approach.
mark my words down the back in Hollywood wording, like on the Hollywood
There it is
Hills,
there.
because he's bringing Hollywood to Perth. So got him to sign that, which was fantastic. So all of the
So you
celebrities
do it all
I
for
paint,
charity.
they sign it.
You do it all for charity. Now,
Yep.
do you take out your costs? Because, I mean, you must be putting so much time and effort. So for those people out there, I've been told very little do you take out from this. You don't even cover your work, your paint and your actually frames and all that sort of stuff.
No,
You do
no.
a great job. And can I say you're genuinely a charitable person.
Thank
and I know
you.
that a young girl, Billy Lucas, who
Yes.
passed away here in WA, you did something special for her too, didn't you?
I ran an event, a couple of events actually, at Optus Stadium, where I asked all the kids to join me to raise money to help the family, because there are a lot of family members, not only Millie, that are also very sick. That it's really awful. So I've raised just over $110,000 so far.
That is a fantastic feat. Look,
Thank
raising
you.
any money for anybody else, I think it's wonderful.
Thank
And
you.
you haven't stopped there. The reason why I wanted to talk about your background.
Yes.
Because people need to know that you do this. You do this out of the goodness of your own heart, and you spend a lot of time. Now, Charlie Moan, as we know, has been on the couch before. He's a young boy. Do you want to give us a little bit of background about Charlie?
So Charlie's dad, Barry, approached me, and because he could see all the work that I'd done with Millie, and I said, well, I really need to meet him. So I met him, and I said, Charlie, who is your superhero? And he said, Nat 5. And I'm like, well, I've already painted him, but how could I say no? So I really appreciate you, Nat 5. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful that he's actually allowed me to paint him. He's given me a photograph, which is actually a little bit in shadow, unfortunately.
It's wonderful.
So I had to invest.
It isn't finished yet.
It's unfinished.
Yes,
It's unfinished.
That's what we've got to say. So what's going to happen to this picture? Where is it going to go?
Yes. So just quickly, a little bit about Charlie. So
Okay, go for
Charlie is 11 years old. He has a disease called Duchenne muscular dystrophy. He also has another one called PHPV, which is a rare disease to do with his eyes, which makes him 1 in 7.8 billion in the world. So he's quite unique little boy. He's also more recently developed a second cataract, which actually makes him now the only known in the world
I
with
have to
this
say,
combination.
looks are very deceiving because we had him on the couch only a few weeks ago, and
He's tough,
He's
though.
a tough kid,
Yeah.
and I have to say, very tough.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
he
Right.
knows what's happening.
Yes.
He knows what his life's got in store for him.
Yep.
I tell you what, his family's amazing.
Yes.
Mum and dad, especially mum, I have to say. Mums are always very special.
Yep.
She works incredibly hard to give him a great quality of life.
Yeah.
Now, the reason we decided to help with this promotion is because Charlie's got an event coming up. It's called Charlie's Story Fundraiser.
Yes.
Now, it's going to be happening at the Quest Hotel. Tell us a little bit about that and what's going to happen on the night.
Yes. So, with the reason why I'm doing this is for a boy like Charlie with Duchenne disease, the average costs for medical costs for a young boy is $1.2 million. 1.2 million. And I just think as a mother, it's hard enough to have a sick child and then have the burden of that financial strain.
But can we also be very honest, and this is one of the issues we have to bring up, NDIS does an amazing job, and can we just say the taxpayers of Australia have helped.
Yeah.
They've helped immensely in the hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
And so we're not saying there's no support out there. What we're saying is not enough.
What I want to do is I want to make a positive impact for Charlie and his family. So I want to be able to raise some money to give them some beautiful, special memories. And so I put my thinking cap on and I approached and spoke with the wonderful Byron McDonald from the CEO Sky Lounge Rooftop Quest East Perth
It's in
Apartments.
East Perth, correct. That is
A bit of a
exactly where it
mouthful.
is. You got it right. It's going to be on Thursday. Very important we get out the date before we run out of time. Thursday, the 26th of August, from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. It's on screen right now. Rooftop Bar and Lounge, Adelaide Terrace in Perth. It will be $150 per person. That will include your meal. Enjoy great food, drinks, music and raffles. And this will be the whole night. Local West Australian family will be raising some amazing money for their son, which is what we're doing. And on the night, are we hoping to auction off the painting? Is that how it's going to work?
Yes. So 100% of all money raised for the auctioning off of this painting will go to Charlie and his family.
And as we said, you know, it's a lot of money to raise a disabled child and look after a disabled child of any age. And as we said, we've got amazing government funding, but it's never enough. It's never enough to provide everything. There's so many people that have to look after. And what you're doing and what we're doing is trying to help Charlie have a better life, have some experiences in life that he can enjoy and like any other child.
Absolutely.
And this painting will be auctioned on the night. Now, if you are watching this right now and saying, I want to give such an amount, contact Joanne directly. And if the price is right, as they say on that TV show, you might get a deal. I'm sure Joanne will probably do another one, do raffle off on the night. But Joanne, what would you say? Can I ask, or do you want to set a limit? What do you reckon it would be worth? Because I'm thinking about 50 grand maybe.
Oh, wow. That
do you
would
reckon
just be
it's too much or not enough?
Well, you know what? I painted a mermaid with my hands in 3 hours and that went for 50,000. So I've spent 100 hours so far.
I reckon 50 grand is the minimum.
I think so.
And I think you're doing a wonderful job.
Thank
I
you.
just say, in the time we've got left, I've got to thank a few people. You're looking amazing today. Your dress and outfit you're wearing today is from Ignite the Night Dress Hire. Do you want to give them a little bit of a plug?
Yes.
Where are they located?
So they are in Palmyra, Ignite the Night Dress Hire. Her name is
Beautiful
Louise
outfits.
Scanlon. Thank you. And she kindly always, my theme is class and elegance. When I teach art as well, I always listen to classical music and opera. So I really want children to learn culture, and so she's actually always sponsors me with my gowns, which is
Fantastic.
really kind of
Well done, and thank you for supporting us here on the couch. And Jade's Creation looks after your hair and makeup. You're looking beautiful. Yes.
Thank you. So Jade is a very special lady. She's actually an amputee, and she's had an interesting life, and I just want to help and support this amazing talent that she has. So if anyone needs hair and makeup, she's Jade's Creation.
Can I say thank thank you on behalf of everybody for doing what you do. It's an amazing thing to donate your time, your effort, your paintings to charity. I know you do it wholeheartedly out of a charitable side that you have, which is quite a big part of your life. Well done. If people want more information about the event, they can go, of course. We've got a website. I think we had the info page up on the screen for Charlie. Can we pop that up one more time to our director? There it is on screen right now, of course, for the event. It is, of course, www.facebook.com/Fight for Charlie, and you'll get your tickets there and all the information about the event at Quest. But how do we get a hold of you?
Yes, so I have a website, www.joannecollaleyart.com, and I will actually have a special page on my website, especially in honour of Charlie, so you can actually also find out the events there. And if there's anyone out there listening who can't come but would like to donate, I'll also put a link in there as well.
You're doing an amazing job. Thank you very much for doing it today. We were hoping to have Charlie and his dad, Barry, here today, but unfortunately they had something happened in the family. Someone passed away. They couldn't come in, but we decided we'd still do the plug for them, and they deserve it. They do a great job in the community as well, with Charlie deserving to have an amazing life. Thank you, Joanne.
Thank you, Fred.
Look forward to working with you in the future, because I know we're going to see you again now that you're here.
Oh,
I know you'll be working on many more events. Joanne Collaley, she's doing an amazing job. Please check out her website. If you missed that, check out ours, thecouch.com.au. Get in touch and I'll pass you on her details if you want a portrait done or other stuff like that. Anything to do with picture. And maybe the mermaid thing.
Yes.
What do you reckon I'd look like as a mermaid?
Oh, don't challenge me.
Yeah. It will be a challenge, trust me. You'll need a very big, how do you call it, big easel and painting background, all that sort of thing. Well done. Keep up the good job. If you'd like to win some pizza, we know how you can do that too. Bites Pizza is giving you the chance of winning a slab of pizza. All you have to do, for $25 it is, $25 you'll get a nice slab. There it is, making me hungry looking at that screen. Well, Bites Pizza in Erindale Road, Balcatta are giving you the chance to win a $25 voucher. All you have to do is put your name and address on an SMS, send it to 0439 929 929. It's on screen right now, that phone number, name and address, and the code word is BITES, B-Y-T-E-S. Thank you very much for their support, and we look forward to eating some more of your wonderful Bites Pizza, Erindale Road, Balcatta. Back with more of The Couch right after this. Welcome back to The Couch. It gives me great pleasure to promote local film industry here in WA. Ian Hale, I've known him for many years. He runs the Backlot, which is a theatre here, a very exclusive theatre where they do a lot of screenings for movies that are coming out and other parties and events as well. You can hire it out. We'll talk to Ian very, very soon. He's the managing director of Halo Films. We've also got Morgan Pelt, who's the producer of this documentary we're talking about, and also Garth de Bruno Austin. He's the director of this great documentary, and I'll tell you the name, The Last Horn of Africa. I think I've got that right. Welcome, The Last Horns of Africa, should I say. Welcome to our three people on the couch.
Thank you.
Ian, Morgan and Garth as well. Now, to start with, Garth, as the director, tell me a little bit about the actual background to the actual documentary. What's it about?
Yeah, so the film itself is pretty much our way of revealing to the audience what's behind the curtain of the rhino poaching crisis, giving everyone an inside look into the people that are on the front lines trying to do their best to stop the rhino poaching, and then dealing with the fallout of rhinos being poached, which is inevitably young calves that lose their mothers, have to go somewhere. So Kruger Park sends them to Care for Wild, which is where they get rehabilitated and looked after by Petronelle Neverhurt, who's our lead character. And that's sort of the essential part of the film. We also dive into a criminal aspect, as well as whether to trade or not to trade in the rhino horn itself. And the whole film encompasses these different elements and hopefully makes a lot of sense to the audience and entertains them but educates them at the same time.
Sounds fantastic. Was it exciting to be over in Africa and South Africa and doing the documentary for you both, I guess, as the producer and director?
Yeah, so Garth, of course, is a native to South Africa. I'm a Queenslander, don't hold it against me. But I was there as an environmental scientist helping to look after these orphan rhinos, and that's where we met. And
so what's the message, Morgan, that you want people to get from watching this documentary? Because you're the environmental person, so you made sure that the content was credible and as honest as you could make it. What are we hoping people will get from this?
I would really like for people to understand that we are losing so many of our incredible species around the world, but particularly the rhino, that is my favourite animal, and it is racing towards extinction. And the biggest thing would be, if we can't save the rhino, what can we save?
Exactly. How long were you over in Africa for recording this?
It's nearly 4 years.
Nearly 4 years.
So it's been a long time
quite a
in the
process. Yeah.
And I guess COVID would have delayed it a bit, or was it before COVID?
Most of it was before
Very
COVID,
lucky.
and then just before it hit, Garth actually went back. I was only meant to be for a few weeks, and then you're stuck there for nearly 4 or 5 months.
Ian, you're the managing director of Halo Films. Congratulations, and can I say thank you for putting your money where your mouth is, and you back so many producers, directors, people with stories, people that have amazing stories to tell, and also this amazing environmental story as well that's happening right in front of us. And most of us, I've got to be very honest, I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Why did you get involved?
I got involved initially, I started Halo Films to predominantly support films that hadn't been funded or didn't have a distributor, West Australian made films. And I started off with a film called The Crossing, and then a film called Greenfield.
Yes.
And which was
both the actor
wonderful films, and they both had theatrical releases. And we did some post-production on this documentary late last year, and I was profoundly moved by it, to be quite honest. And when I found out they didn't have a distributor, I decided to approach both the filmmakers, and thankfully they agreed to come on board, and the rest is history.
I think it's wonderful, one, that you're West Australian, two, that we're doing it from over here in Perth. We're only a small state, but yet the film industry over here is really incredible. It's building and building and building, and people like yourself, Ian, very important that you get behind projects, because money's short and people don't want to get involved, especially on topics like this. They can be, in some ways, a great thing, and in some ways people don't want to hear the story. When you heard the actual topic, what did you think? Was it something that you automatically said, I want to be involved?
Yeah, I did. 5 minutes into the actual into the film, when we were doing the post-production on it, I was actually in tears. It moved me that much, and by the end of the film, you go on a roller coaster of emotions. You're up and down and angry and sad, and by the end of it, you really want to make a difference, and that's what, you know. And I think importantly, just seeing what both the filmmakers had done to tell this story, and literally had put their lives on the line in certain circumstances, which you can probably touch on later. But the film deserved to be seen by an audience. It deserved to be seen in a cinema, and that's what Halo Films is all about.
When are we likely to see it? Tell us
It's
about
having
the
its
screening.
Australian premiere at Revelation Film Festival on July the 3rd.
Yep.
Which is fantastic.
It's going to be at Luna?
Be at Luna
Right across the road from
Leadable,
us.
which is really exciting. Then it will have a small theatrical release at the Backlot.
Yes, at your cinema.
The following week and the following weekend, and after that, at the end of June, it will have a release at Luna in Leadable.
We'll talk more about how people can get involved as well, and getting involved in everything about the documentary. But let's take a look at this amazing trailer. It's called The Last Horns of Africa. Here it is.
If we don't do what we're doing now, in 1 year there will be no rhinos here.
How many rhino have you killed? About 12, 13, 14. You don't even keep count? Nah, I don't even keep count. I just count money.
Game reserves have been trying everything. The intense militarization of many places.
We've got the skills, we've got the knowledge to do something about it. We're trying to stop rhino poaching in its tracks.
You effectively have had to change from a conservation-orientated person to a soldier.
Whether we like it or not, there is a war going on.
And if you're thinking about a product at $36,000 a kilo, that's more than gold, it's more than platinum, it's more than diamonds.
Well, I think it's just the fact that I grew up here. I mean, that's the only life that I knew, and there was nothing else I ever wanted to do.
I never thought about the largest orphanage in the world.
May I be strong enough to help them all and to put them back so that they can breed again. Remember, this is an epidemic. This is now. This is in front of you now. There's no textbooks that you can go back to.
For the disunity there is in whether to trade or not to trade, disunity will mean success or failure in saving the rhino.
The people who are against the legal trade in rhino is keeping the illegal trade alive.
I think it's extremely risky to put an endangered species in an experiment.
Once you have that little bit of legal, you're finished.
Police! Go! Go, go, go!
Now that's it there. Now it's going to be, they're going to have a screening, as Ian said, again at the Revelation Film Festival. Now there's going to be a launch in July. What date is that again?
July the 3rd. That's the Australian premiere.
Beautiful. And
there will be another screening on the following weekend on July the 10th at Revelation. And then there will be a weekend of screenings at the Backlot the following weekend from the 13th to the 15th of June. And then the 28th to the 1st of August at Luna Leederville.
Now tell me, is it going to head all over Australia as well?
That's certainly the hope for the film, but at the moment we're just focusing on the West Australian release.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the film. Garth, as the director, you've faced some really gruesome situations, climate, security. Tell me about what it was like to be there recording. What are the things? I know there was one part where you had to wear a vest, a bulletproof vest. Tell me about the things you went through.
Yeah, the film touches on so many different aspects, from the rhino orphanage where the orphans go to Kruger National Park where our Ranger Don English is based, but then there's also the criminal aspect, and we tried to...
money being made from this, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate part, you know, when they take the rhino horn and sell it, the criminals end up making huge amounts of money, so it's quite an incentive for them, and they, you know, obviously want to keep this business going. But to capture all of this was, you know, some things were not that dangerous, but then others were extremely dangerous. You know, we were following a criminal investigation, so there was an arrest and there's a bunch of other things that happened, but at one point balaclavas went on, bulletproof vests. We were following the guys into the den of the beast and trying to capture all of this, and we had put GoPros everywhere, and our partner in the film, Sean Fulyun, he was there right by my side capturing all of this with me, both of us, bulletproof vests,
balaclavas. Was this one of the hardest documentaries to work on, or should I say probably the scariest? Because you faced a lot of risk to your own life.
It's our first, and yes, hardest and scariest, and all of the above. But it is our first. Yes, I would definitely do it again.
As a director, I would say this would be the challenges that you look forward to when you're making movies.
Yeah.
And I think it's wonderful that you were able to do that. Morgan, for you, tell me a little bit about the Care for Wild Rhino, the sanctuary, and also tell me about the Rhino Orphanage.
So Care for Wild Rhino Sanctuary is the largest rhino orphanage in the world. And they receive most of their orphan rhinos from a place called Kruger National Park, which has the most amount of rhinos in the world. So we're looking at around 80% of the world's rhinos in one location.
What's the fascination? I know it's money, but how long has this been going on for? I mean, you would have found out, obviously you were saying about the criminal investigation, etc. Is there a lot of money in the horns? I mean, what are we talking about? So people at home are saying, is it $1,000? Is it $10,000?
It's up to $65,000 US.
Why? What do they use them for?
Per kilogram. Anything from traditional Chinese Asian medicine to now it's become a status symbol. So like we'd wear a handbag, we'd drive a fancy car. So people would have a rhino horn in their office to show off their wealth.
And did you find that the government of South Africa, are they proactive in getting this trade shut down, or do they turn a blind eye, from your opinion?
Like many governments in third world nations, there are a lot of other priorities. Wildlife crime is pretty far down on the list, unfortunately, and especially in a country like South Africa with the poverty and whatnot. It is far down on the list.
And when you were making the documentary, where did you all live? Did you have security around you? Was it fearful every day, every night? Did you get up in the morning and say, okay, let's go and do our job? Or was it, I wonder what's going to be thrown at us today? Did you have security around you?
Sometimes we did. We had a small house near Care for Wild, so we're also very protective of them and protected by them. But yeah.
We didn't walk around with security with us at all times. And unfortunately, one of the lead investigators and a key witness in the whole case was assassinated last year. So the danger is real, but we didn't have, security guards with us because we obviously didn't have a lot of money to put towards that type of thing.
Correct. And I know that there's a couple of parts I saw in the trailer where you're interviewing some of the criminals, I guess you would call it. What was that like, being so close to them as a director and a producer? Were they good to deal with?
You're torn between making sure you're trying to get the content for the audience to understand what it is that's going on, and then the fact that you're sitting right across from someone that's admitting to killing rhinos and being a criminal, and it's kind of, you're torn between this.
Did anyone try and shut you down?
Not really. No. I mean, we were pretty secretive about what we were doing. Very few people knew that. They knew we were making a documentary about rhinos, but we weren't very open, public about announcing to the world what we're doing, so we kept it pretty close to our chests.
And we have to say there's no actors in this, it's all real people. You didn't try and sanitise it to take away some of the awful stuff that was going on. You left it in on purpose because you want people to see the reality of it all.
Yes.
I hope you have great success with this movie, with documentary. I think it's going to be wonderful. Is there another one on the agenda for you?
Well, there's a couple of ideas brewing, but nothing that's locked in. But we are planning something, and we'll be chatting to Ian a bit later.
Who knows? A year or two, we might be back on this couch.
Well, congratulations. I look forward to seeing the documentary. It's called The Last Horns of Africa. It is a wonderful documentary. Ian, I know we've got about a minute or two. Tell us quickly about Halo. What do you look for when you're looking at projects? What are you here for?
Look, I guess it was Halo was born out of doing a lot of work with emerging filmmakers over the last 7 years with the backlot, and seeing every now and then a film that slipped through the cracks, that that wasn't funded, that didn't have a distributor and deserved to be seen in a cinema. Owning the backlot, I own a cinema, so it allows me to screen those films and to be seen in a cinema. And I've been really fortunate so far to have 3 really high quality films made by emerging filmmakers in Western Australia.
Well, congratulations.
I'm very proud of it.
Where can people get more information about the actual documentary?
The actual documentary itself is at lasthornsofafrica.com, and if you want to go and get tickets to the 3 locations that are screening the film, just go to the website, Revelation website, the Backlot Perth website, and the Luna Palace Cinemas website.
Wonderful. Thank you for coming in today. Congratulations. Well done on the documentary. We look forward to you, Ian, doing a lot more of this type of work and a lot of great stories. If you've got a great story to tell, contact Ian, because he might be the person to see. That is it for The Couch this week. Thank you for your company. Another big show next week, episode 702. Have a wonderful week, Australia. Catch you next week. Keep smiling. Bye for now.